Family isn't always connected by blood. It's about relationships and connectivity. A pair of boxers from Linden are the epitome of that. Sports director Brandon Green brings us a story of Joey and Mickel Spencer, a 1-2 punch taking over the boxing scene.
The boxing world has seen this story before. Two brothers in the ring. There was Mickel and Leon Spinks, Terry and Orlin Norris, and of course the Durrell brothers of Flint. But there's another brother duo that resides out of Linden.
I've been saying recently, it's like we're about to take over the sport. Like that name Spencer is me like, oh man, like, there they come.
There's just something about our energy coming in. So it's just something about it. It makes you feel like a little bit more backup, a little more bulletproof, you know.
What makes Joey and Mickel Spencer so unique is they're not related by blood.
It started off as a guardianship for the majority of my life. And then before my first fight, I decided to be adopted and we could have the Spencer brother name, like we could show that we're brothers because he's been my brother my entire life.
You know, you see other brothers in sports that do big things, but they've got the same gene pool. We have different styles, different gene pools, and we're both highly successful and coming into an elite status in this sport. So that's a huge thing. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that.
My first memories boxing would be messing around with Joey. I don't really remember my first in the ring. I just remember always boxing Joey growing up in our little basement. He was always like put on the pads and we'd be doing the mitts, so we would just be boxing each other. I don't really remember. I know Joey loves Rocky though.
Kel didn't watch him because I was obsessed with him, with the fight movies, and you know, Rocky was a big inspiration for me. But whenever I'd put him on, then I'd want to box. So then I'd go pull Kel out of the room and we'd have to box, and then I'd be all fired up in the movie.
That's probably why I just ran away. I went somewhere else as soon as they came on.
That's really it.
These two would do everything together, from eating to even working out.
If we're doing sleds side by side or if we're running, then I'll see him try to kind of gain on me and things like that, you know. I do see that, and it's fun, it pushes us.
Kel, why do you love boxing?
I personally like fighting. I like to fight one-on-one, like let's see who's better, and I'm gonna do everything I can to be the best.
He does very well at what he does, and it's very unique, so I get to watch him up close all the time, be a part of it.
Both were trained by their dad, Jason Spencer. Jason is a proud dad right now. Joey is 16-0 with 10 knockouts, while Mickel just won his third pro fight. And during one of their latest bouts in LA, they fought on the same card for the first time.
You know, Kel came over to me before my last fight. Since I was being really anxious, came over and he just said, Joey, screw it, man. Like, forget about it all, go out there and fight.
I was pretty calm throughout it. I had confidence that he was gonna win. I thought he was gonna do what he did, but I was just watching it, and after the first round especially, I was like, okay, that's it, it's a wrap.
And I haven't enjoyed anything more than us fighting on the same card. I didn't know I'd enjoy it so much, but I think about it almost every day. I still am not over it because it was just so much fun.
Joey turned pro when he was 17 years old, and it was smooth sailing for the small town soldier until his sixth fight against Akeem Black.
I had kind of lost my way out in California. You know, I lived out there for years, lost touch with home, lost touch with my faith, turned away from God. Really didn't want anything to do with that. I was bitter, angry, sacrificed a lot to get to the point where I could turn pro and have my freedom. And you know, when I did, I kind of went off the rails, took advantage of that in the platform and you know, the freedom of it and getting easy wins, and started living a certain lifestyle. And when I fought that fight, a terrible night, and I had to dig down deep and go out there, and I found myself tired, exhausted by the third round. You know, I was exhausted, and I had to bite down from that point on. It was one of the hardest things that I ever did. You put everything into something, and it's the most important thing. You feel like if you can only get to this place, then everything's gonna be better, and everything's gonna be okay, and I'm gonna be happy. Then you get to that place, and you're empty and lost, and you realize that what else is there, and you're just a broken person inside. That's where I was at. I had made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't who I ever thought that I would be.
In the darkest times is when you find out family isn't always connected by blood. And Joey's real brother was Kel.
You know, it's one of those things that you see people, and not just my brother, people in the world, where you see where they've come short and you learn from their mistakes. It was more just like, try to stay up in spirits and try to surround myself with people that will help me make the right decisions if I do start to slip up.
And as long as they have each other, these two feel like nothing can stop them.
When you look at other fighters who've done it by themselves, there's not many brothers. And the brothers that are in boxing are very successful. So it's just nice to see like that we have an advantage over the rest of the competition in a sense.
It's not like we're going out there to fight in the same ring, but it almost feels like we both can whoop you, you know? So what? You know, that type of thing.
Reporting for ABC 12 Sports, I'm Brandon Green.
Joey is fighting this Saturday. He's taking on undefeated Jesus Ramos. It is the co-main event on the David Benavidez-Caleb Plant card.